Hello, I'm Nicole Carson Bonilla, and I'm a portrait photographer. I recently upgraded to the new Apple iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now, the Apple website refers to this as their Cameras Maximus, and I'm going to put it to the test in an outdoor photo shoot in the desert. I'm also going to bring my professional camera, which is a Canon EOS R, so we can compare the results. I'll show you how I use the beautiful light of the golden hour before sunset to get several unique natural light setups. Then I'll show you how I edit these portraits using the iPhone editor to get a warm, creamy, monochromatic color scheme. But you can use all the techniques I'm going to show you with any camera. Now, before we go any further, please do me a quick favor and click the like and subscribe buttons below. I have a huge studio wardrobe available to all my portrait clients. I've selected this long white lace dress for Rylee's photo shoot. To make the flower crown, I started out with pipe cleaners to create the frame for the flowers to clip into. My flowers are all individually hot glued to alligator clips. This makes it super easy to clip them to my pipe cleaner frame. This floppy hat I purchased from Target adds a little boho style, and I'm accessorizing with this arrowhead leather necklace, boho earrings, and rustic beaded bracelets. These studded cowgirl boots are my favorites. Not only will they be practical for walking around in a thorny desert, but they will finish off the look. Shooting during golden hour can produce a variety of natural light setups as long as you pay close attention to the gradual setting of the sun. I started off in front of this rustic tree with all these cool vines and branches. Since the sun is behind my model and behind a small hill in the distance, the lighting on her face is fairly even and very easy to shoot in. I tapped on portrait mode on my iPhone and then tapped the yellow square to focus on Rylee's face. The exposure level was too bright for my taste, so I tapped and held my finger on the square until the yellow autofocus auto exposure lock button came on. Then I slid the little sun icon down until the exposure level was where I wanted it. Then it was super easy to snap my portraits. Here are the portraits taken with both my Canon EOS R and the iPhone 12 Pro Max side by side so you can compare the results. The next spot we moved to had full sun behind the tree. I really like shooting in this scenario with a tree blocking most of the light, but allowing the sun's glow to peek through. This provides a really beautiful glow behind your model. I had to be strategic in my composition regarding where I placed Rylee's face compared to the sun. I wanted the sun near her face, but not too close that the haze would drown her out. In this time lapse, you can see the sun on the mountain in the background. This time lapse was started about 45 minutes before sunset. While the sun was bright on the mountain, I was photographing Rylee with the sun behind her. You can see the sunlight gradually get softer and softer until the sun sets. Once the sun dropped below the horizon line, I was able to turn Rylee towards the direction of the sun for a few more shots. I pulled out the floppy hat to change up the styling. I prefer to not have open sky behind my model's head in my composition until the sky is about as dark as everything around it. So I either have to raise my camera, stand on a stool, or find a tree or other object to visually place behind their head in my composition. With less than 10 minutes left of light, I traded the floppy hat Rylee was wearing for the romantic flower wreath. I like to turn my model's face about 45 degrees away from the direction of the sun to get a very soft shadow to the side of their nose. This creates dimension and mood that I really like in my portraits. If I'm shooting a horizontal shot, I typically use the rule of thirds. I place my model in 1/3 and place the 2/3 towards the direction of the sun. If I ask my model to look away from the camera, I have them look towards the direction of the sun and into the 2/3 of the composition. All of my Canon portraits were shot in RAW format and edited in Exposure X6 and Photoshop. For editing the iPhone portraits, I used the iPhoto app. I found the editing controls to be very robust and versatile. You can slow down or pause this video if you would like to see the specific settings. I started by cropping my image to a proportion of 8:10. Then I tapped on the filters icon and selected Vivid Warm. I thought it was a little too strong, so I moved the slider to half opacity. Then I tapped on the color editing icon and increased the exposure and brightness, and darkened the shadows and increased the contrast. I also increased the saturation and vibrance. I slightly increased the temperature to warm it up a little more. I also increased the sharpness, definition, and noise reduction. Finally, I increased the vignette to darken the edges and make Rylee stand out even more. I am in love with this creamy, warm color tone. I am very impressed with the new Apple iPhone camera system. If you are planning to share and use your portraits online and in social media, I think the quality level produced by the iPhone is more than adequate. And with the built-in editing features in iPhoto and the wide variety of editing apps available, you never need to leave your phone. This phone makes it possible to shoot, edit, and post your photos on social media from literally anywhere that your phone has service. Now for my professional portraits, I'll be sticking with my Canon EOS R, but I guarantee I'll be keeping this Apple iPhone 12 Pro Max in my back pocket. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do me a quick favor and click the like and subscribe buttons below.